welcome back to another Britgrid Intermediate Blender class, and today we're going to be continuing looking at rigging. It's a continuation of last lesson where we started to rig a very simple armature. Today I'm using the Armature Workbench 271, which is a standard armature for OpenSim and Second Life. And you can see that I've made a very simple mesh figure. It's actually all one mesh kind of joined together, and I have actually rigged this, although I've deliberately broken a little bit of it just to show you how we can go about rigging it. So with any armature, the first thing to do is you need to parent the figure to the armature, and if I demonstrate how to do that, if we look in the, you can see I've got the figure selected. If we go into the array modifier, you can see it's got no modifiers added to it. We would expect to see a parent modifier in there. So without further ado, make sure you've got your figure selected and shift click on the armature and then go object parent, and you can say with empty groups, that's fine. That just adds the vertex groups to the mesh using the name of the bones. Now previously I've scaled this armature to the correct size for my figure and then applied transformations to it, and to apply more transformations. I've done the same to the mesh. Now if we have a look in the properties panel, you can see that this mesh is now parented to the armature. You can see the name of the armature there, female01, which is great because that's what we need to do in order to start weight painting it. Now when you want to start weight painting, in fact, I'm just going to change the appearance of this armature because I find it rather difficult to weight paint with the kind of big bulky bones in the way of being able to see the vertices. So I'm just going to change that into stick in the properties panel, and so now we can see a little bit more of our figure. If I go into pose mode, I can hopefully show you that this is already rigged. So I've selected a bone there, so I can just rotate that and you can see that the leg moves. I've actually broken this bit of the mesh just because you can see it's all deformed and it doesn't really work very well, just to show you weight painting. So the trick to weight painting is, if you select your armature, then shift click on the mesh, shift left click to select the mesh, then you should be able to go to weight paint up in the top here, and you can select different bones by control and left clicking on the armature, and you can see the weights that have been applied to the mesh there. Now I'm just going to go into wireframe mode because it makes it a little bit easier to see the weights. Now you can see on this this top part of the arm, there's no weights that have been assigned to this piece of the mesh, which is why it's broken. So what we can do is we can go up to our menu at the top of our weight paint menu. We can select the add option. I've changed my brush so it's quite a small brush. You can see you just press F and then you can size the brush how you want it. I've got it quite small. Oh, there we go. And so make sure your weight is set to 1, your strength is right up, and then all we've got to do is select. We've just got to click on these. We want to see them all go nice and red to show that for this particular bone we're applying maximum influence on the mesh. Sometimes it's a bit difficult to grab the ones on the corners. You have to persevere a little bit with it. I think it's just that one there we need to do. Okay. So, and hopefully now you can use you can kind of pose things in weight painting mode, so you can still use R for rotation. You can see that that is now. I select the other bone. That is now moving as you would expect. So essentially, as you can see, it's just a matter of selecting each bone in turn. So let's have a look at this leg bone. So, and kind of weight painting your way up through the mesh, adding weights or subtracting weights. And generally what you're looking for is the piece of mesh you know, entirely close to the bone to have a red colour, or let's see if we can do it on this one. In fact, some bits you'll notice, yeah, look at that knee there. You can see that that kind of ball has inherited or has been painted, so it's affected by that bone, but only the kind of top part of the ball. The bottom part of the ball, I suspect, has got a bit more weight from this other bottom bone. Yeah, great. So that's a way to kind of do your weight painting. It's good fun. It takes a little while, but it's you know, you can just paint away, have a bit of a test, remove weight, put weight on, add weight rather, and yeah, and you should be left with something that is entirely posable. So if we go back here and go into pose mode, we should be able to select any of these bones. If I go back into solid mode, and we should be able to press R and see it affecting the model. Oh, don't want to insert a keyframe. And once you've done all of that, it's basically just a matter of selecting the character, shift selecting the armature, going to File, Export, Glider, DAE, and then under the operator presets choosing OpenSim rigged and exporting it. So I'm going to pause the video now, and this was just a test of concept, so I just wanted to make sure that it was able to be rigged and it would work in world, which it does. So I'm just going to pause the video and I'll load up another file, so I'll see you in a moment. And welcome back. I've just opened a new file, or file I'm working on. You can see that I'm modelling a character called Robert the Robot from a British TV series called Fireball XR5. It's ever so old, but great fun. And I've made a start on this. I've loaded an image as a plane that I found online. I in fact made it into a negative image of what it was. It was a bit light and a bit difficult to see what you were doing against the plan. You can see that I've got a 2-meter cube here. It's just roughly for scale. And you can see that I've started to model the robot's head here. And what I'm using is I'm trying to use modifiers to do this because they're non-destructive. It gives me the flexibility to alter what will be the resolution, the kind of amount of detail that's in the finished mesh. I think I've lost my shortcut keys. I don't think it really matters. So let's start that. So if I show you that, so if we select this top section, for example, and go into Wireframe, you can see that in the properties panel I've applied a screw modifier and a solidify modifier. It's actually a Bezier curve, or a NURBS path as they call it. Let me just take off. So you can see the path here. It's just a simple curve going from the top down to the bottom. And then as soon as you apply the screw modifier to it, it rotates it round 360 degrees. And then as soon as you apply the solidify modifier, you can control the kind of thickness of the mesh. And because it's a Bezier curve, I've got the option in the properties panel for the curve to set the resolution. Actually not that one, it's probably up here. So in the preview you can see I can change the amount of detail that's in the mesh there, or will be in the mesh once I convert it to mesh. And basically that's it. So I'm going to finish building the figure, hopefully, and then I'll bring in the armature from the Avastar workbench file and kind of start rigging it, and hopefully I'll have another video to show you once I've done that. But meanwhile, thank you very much for watching. Keep your eye on the channel, take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.